Well, hello and welcome to the most unusual tarot reading on the internet. Maybe even the world don't know, but certainly on the internet. Never seen anything like it, never heard anything like it. Reason is simple. We do one thing. We focus on your ability to manifest, your ability to create pictures, movies inside your own head, not from some computer or desktop or laptop or smartphone or artificial intelligence, none of that. Using those things actually makes you dumber, makes you less creative. There are half a dozen different studies over the last 30 or 40 years that have indicated saying the more you get involved with the computer stuff, the dumber you become. In fact, just read a report back about a week or so ago indicating that worldwide our IQ as humanity has dropped 6 to 9 points. That's huge. That's huge. And in large part, it's because we're connected to computers. We're letting them do our thinking for us. We're letting them actually live our lives for us, our feeling for the whole thing. We're just kind of getting sucked into this technocracy thing. There are other considerations as well. We have a ton of pollution. We are destroyed internally, externally. All forces coming to remove us, which is, if you believe the World Economic Forum, people like Bill Gates, Georgia Guidestones, many others, they want to get rid of 95% of us by 2050 at the latest. Sooner, if possible, but by 2050 at the latest, 95% of the world population they want removed. You do the math, you figure out. So, we do the tarot because the tarot is the kryptonite from all of this. It doesn't mean it's easy. Doesn't mean it's going to be a clean slide. It means there's work, there's effort, there's focus. But if you can tap into your God-given creativity, create the pictures, create the storyline in a positive way, you can have a profound impact, not just on your life, but on the entire world. Right now we are caught and we're ready to surrender to the great machine. Question is, are we going to do it or not? If we do, again, 95% of us are going to be gone between now and 2050. That's the plan. That's the best case scenario. However, we do have options, we do have choices, maybe some we don't even see, maybe we're not aware of. That's where the tarot comes in. Tarot, I've done it for over 20 years. I've never found it to predict anything, but I've found it to be a science of potential. Your creative spiritual potential. Create those pictures. I mean, we already manifest, but it's usually negative. I can't have this. I'm not good looking enough. I'm not rich enough. I'm not. And you get a lot of knots, and you go, well, see, manifesting doesn't work. Yeah, it does, but you're doing it negatively. My job, my goal is to get you to tap back into that tarot frequency, but in a positive way. And because of that, I also add in numerology and astrology. I've done those for 50 years, tarot for 20. I found that combining those two give you a big picture. It's like a puzzle in front of you. You need all the parts and pieces. And since you can't predict with tarot, from my experience, you can sort of predict. It's not actually predicting, it's knowing cycles, but you can with numerology and astrology because they are the science of cycles. Tarot, the science of potential. Numerology, astrology, the science of cycles. You've heard the expression history repeats, and that's because we move in cycles. Move from new moon to a full moon, new moon to a full moon, summer to fall to winter. We move in cycles. And so I use the numerology and astrology to figure out different cycles historically and then show you how that energy impacts what you're going through today. Because once you understand the energy that you are swimming in, now you know how to use the frequency of the tarot much more effectively. And that's the point. I don't want to just do the gobbledygook word salad stuff that makes you think, oh man, look, he knows all this. I don't care about that. I want you to understand the story. I want you to understand the energy. I want you to understand how to apply all of this to you so that you can, at this critical time in humanity, help us transition to a much better place. We do it individually. And as we do it individually, it spreads collectively, and we really make some heavy-duty positive change. That's the point. Today's reading says, read the small print. All of us are kind of given a book of what we're supposed to think, what we're supposed to feel, what's important, we've been given that book, quote unquote, by people who want to control us, people who are controlling us. These are the same people that want to get rid of 95% of us by 2050. They've said so. So what you do is you cannot go by the book, at least not their book. So it's time to read the small print. And that's what I'm here to do, and that's why we do what we do. So with that in mind, let's go to the astrology stuff. I have been delving into an idea that I really want to emphasize. And I'm going to pick it apart piece by piece. Not all of the increments are going to fit perfectly, but you can use your imagination. That's part of tarot. That's part of manifesting. But I want to give you feelings. I want to give you a background so that you tie the energy together. That's the idea, for you to see the picture, for you to feel the energy, to make the connection. So we go to Astrologic. I'm focusing on the conquest of America because that also indicates the conquest of the world. It's all started back thousands of years ago. Greece, Rome. We get to the Middle Ages. It begins to develop in Europe. It spreads from Europe, comes to the New World. And all of these are now uniting together to control the world. So let's go to the year 1650, a very important year. 1600s are very important because we are now leaving the Middle Ages and we're getting into the industrial age. We're now beginning to use machines. We're now beginning to devalue human beings. We don't say so at the time. We may not even understand that we are. But machines are starting to replace humans. And the ultimate, of course, will be once the robots take over in the next 5 years. It's all over. That's why they don't need us anymore. But in 1650, they did, to run the machines, to develop this new economy. It wasn't going to be just local. It wasn't going to just operate in a country or maybe a major city in that country, and primarily in Europe. But they were going to spread it. And around 1650, we had a very interesting configuration. Pluto, Neptune, Uranus. These together were in a very interesting astrological configuration. Pluto and Neptune were in early Gemini. Uranus was in early Sagittarius. If you're familiar with astrology, you know that Gemini and Sagittarius have a symbiotic relationship. One is the opposite of the other. But the Pluto, Neptune, and Gemini said that we wanted to change our thought process. It wasn't a serious and heavy-duty investigation. We just wanted to do things differently, to do them faster. Uranus and Sagittarius says we're going to do them on a big scale. Everything was move, move, move. We were literally learning to move at the speed of machines. Now, these were not sophisticated machines, but the point was they were machines beginning to take the place of human beings. And with that mentality, the Pluto, Neptune, and Gemini, the Uranus in Sagittarius, in 1650, we began to explode outward. We had all this energy. My God, Pluto is evolution. Uranus is revolution. Neptune is illusion, delusion. You don't really know at the time. Down the road, you figure it out. So in 1650, we are now introducing machines into humanity. We are changing the economy. We're going on a much larger level, not too far down the road. Adam Smith was going to come up with the idea of capitalism. What it was just reframing the way they did business. It was called usury. We'll talk more about that later on. But to clean it up, to make it more modern with this Pluto, Neptune, and Gemini, Uranus, and Sagittarius, he called it capitalism, which is what we're suffering from now, because capitalism always turns into fascism and Marxism. Always. But either we didn't know that at the time, didn't care, weren't aware, something. But interestingly, at 1650, what do we have? Europe coming to the New World, so to speak. The Dutch, New Amsterdam, which we call New York. The French created Montreal. The British, Jamestown. The major players on the continent came to America. Of course, we can't forget the Spanish. They took Central and South America. I mean, Europe was on the move. That's the Pluto, Neptune, and Gemini, Uranus, and Sagittarius. We're on the move. We're moving quickly, and we're doing it on a big scale situation. So that's how things all shook out. And that's the same energy, because right now we have Uranus in Gemini. And Pluto, Neptune, Uranus are in a very favorable aspect now, similar, but not exactly the same, similar to what they were in 1650. Just like they expanded into the New World Order is rearranging and reorientating humanity, the entire planet. Let's go to the meme for the day. I bring these up because I want you to think outside the box. I want that tarot manifesting energy to do. What you see on this screen is, since COVID, they've been keeping track, and you see how it's destroyed our health. Remember I said that they want 95% of us dead? Well, you take a look at that list. They're headed in the right direction. And I threw in, just for a little bit of humor, somebody who might know the TV character back from the 70s, Columbo. And he says, if there was only one thing that could tie all of these sudden deaths together, well, yeah, it's right next to him. Since COVID, run down that list. That'll get you to wake up a little bit more. You understand this really is a takeover. And we go from there to the missing link. Dealing with technology dumbs us down. I've said that. Top story talks about Sweden. They're going back to books. They're getting rid of the electronic stuff. Why? Because their kids aren't learning. They're dumber. Measurably dumber. And here's another consideration. The bottom story talks about our brains now taking in plastics. Plastics are all around, in the clothing and the food and everything. And we're finding it gathering more and more in our body, and this will also add to the problems for the human race. They want to kill us. They've made it clear. Take a look at the vax, take a look at the technology, take a look at the plastics. Are you beginning to get the idea? So let's go to the tarot, Ten of Swords. Many people are feeling stabbed in the back. One of the first clues I get is the fact that it doesn't seem like professional sports is gaining an audience anymore. They're slowly dwindling. Doesn't matter what the sport is. We haven't seen the NFL so far this year, but even last year the NFL was down just a little bit, which is unusual. But basketball, baseball, I think even hockey, people don't care. They realize they're getting screwed. That's the Ten of Swords. I'm stabbed in the back. I know it. What the hell can I do to protect myself? Next card, Ace of Pentacles. Well, what you do is you develop a really good, strong value system. That's what Pentacles are about. The idiot tarot readers are going to tell you it's money. It's bullshit. That's the problem. It says in the Bible, you can't serve two masters. It's either God or money. We've chosen money. You see what you get. All right? So you have to redo your value system. Remember, we're talking about reading the small print, not reading from the book they have given us, but rewriting our own book, because we've been stabbed in the back, and we realized to prevent that from happening again, we got to redo our value system. We don't have any choice. And here you see the Seven of Swords. He's made his decision. The two swords behind him, two is always a decision. He's made the decision to take what is true, think for himself, Develop a value system and cut the pain. It's real simple. Read the small print. Don't take the book that they have given you. If you don't, 95% of us are going to be dead by 2050. What are the odds that you will be one of them? That's it for right now. We're out of time. Thank you so much. But please, like and subscribe. Very, very important. For the power system, this can be very controversial and frightening. And so they're going to want to sit. They sit on a lot of podcasters these days. Please like and subscribe, like and subscribe. That is our defense against this technocracy that is stripping us of our humanity. So that's it. Between now and the next time you and I do tarot again, and I hope it's tomorrow. Blessings.